So I know not everyone likes to read platforms, especially mine because it's pretty long. So what I'm going to do for you today is break down into a few videos my entire platform. The first thing I'm going to talk about is sexual assault, student wellness, and mental health. So point number 1, introduce sexual assault prevention and support education for all Students' Union volunteers. What does this mean? Essentially, it's focusing around our icebreakers and orientation week. We need to educate our icebreakers on the parameters of sexual assault and understanding that when we're talking about sexual assault, what we aren't talking about is people getting jumped in the street. We're talking about the fact that 90% of sexual assault cases are people you know. And so we need to teach our volunteers around what the topic is, and then we need to teach them about prevention, rights, and responsibilities around consent. In addition to this, we can partner with people in the community and the Diversity and Equity Office to offer crisis management training to our icebreakers. This means that if a student has the unfortunate circumstance and comes forward to them, they're capable of having a helpful and supportive conversation with that student and then getting them to the resources and support they need. This training won't just be done with icebreakers, but can be done with all Orientation Week volunteers and past Orientation Week with all Baucus volunteers, peer helpline volunteers, and anyone else who this is relevant for. Point number 2, introduce preventative education and further on-campus support systems for sexual assault survivors. What does this mean? This means that we need to work with partners like the Diversity and Equity Office, as well as external partners like SASC, the Sexual Assault Support Center of Waterloo, or in Brantford, the Sexual Assault Support Center of Brant. We can do a couple of things with these partners. First, we can focus on education, so educating all Laurier students, predominantly focusing on first years, to give them an understanding, again, around rights and responsibilities and understanding consent. In addition to this, we can get outside partners like SASC to come work out of the Wellness Center. And in working out of the Wellness Center, they're capable of supporting students on campus. This means that students don't have to go seek help elsewhere, but the resources can be provided easily accessible to them here. As president, this is more of an advocacy issue and working with the university to ensure that these support systems become part of the wellness model that's currently being developed. Further, supporting the development of Waterloo Wellness Center and Circle of Care model. What's a wellness center? The idea is to do a physical renovation to health services and counseling services. And essentially what you do is you take those two and you combine them into one physical space. This essentially removes the stigma of students having to differentiate between a mental illness and a physical illness. Instead of saying, oh, I'm going to counseling services or, oh, I'm going to health services, you're just going to the wellness center. The union plays into this because we need to utilize the services we have like Peer Helpline and Baucus to support the wellness initiative. In addition, there are chances within the wellness initiative for us to use the resources there to support our systems and our services to students so that we can attack this as a unified strategy rather than in fragments all trying to compete with each other. One of my other big initiatives is to redevelop and re-strategize Peer Helpline. Peer Helpline, in my opinion, can be and should be one of the most used services the union offers. It has the capacity to be something great. Unfortunately, at this time, it's not capable of reaching that capacity because it doesn't have the support and resources that it needs. One of my big initiatives is to look at the training we give peer volunteers and build it from the ground up. They should have a diversification of training so they're capable of dealing with different situations. Additionally, they need proper support to function as an effective crisis management line, and we need to ensure that they have this support. This comes from partnering both with the university, the wellness center, our mental health coordinator, residence life, as well as community partners. Mental health and sexual assault are important issues for us to address because they ensure that our environment that students live in every day is empowering for them to succeed. For students to be successful, they need to feel safe and they need to feel supported. And by improving all of these services and improving our prevention around sexual assault, we can do this. Still don't feel like reading? Check out the rest of my videos to explain the rest of my platform. Or connect with us online at ChandlerForPresident on Facebook or ChandlerForPres on Twitter. You can also visit my website at ChandlerForPresident.com.